Hello everybody, Shrouded Hand here. Welcome to a new series where I'll be looking at bizarre conspiracies, fringe science, and any other weird theories that happen to take my interest. This one's pretty old, so you've probably heard at least some version of it over the years. It started around 2013 and it involves an app called Talking Angela. In 2010, a Slovakian company named Outfit 7 released an app called Talking Tom. It was an interactive cartoon cat that would repeat whatever you said to it in a funny voice. Back when I was a kid, we had something similar called the Pete Repeat parrot, except Pete was cooler because you could use him to torment your pets. Anyway, Talking Tom was so popular that Outfit 7 made a whole load more cartoon animal apps, including Talking Angela, which was released in 2012. Again, it proved to be very popular and lots of kids downloaded it, and parents were happy to let their children play with Talking Angela unsupervised. That is, until somebody noticed something strange about Angela's eyes. For some reason, the reflection in Angela's eyes show a dimly lit room. It's quite strange because the character is meant to be outdoors at a Parisian restaurant or something like that, so where is that room located? Even stranger still, some people swear that at certain times they would see a man in this room looking back at them. Quite how this rumour started is unclear, but around the same time there were numerous Facebook posts being circulated. They said that Talking Angela was asking their kids inappropriate questions like how old they were, where they went to school, and if they'd kissed anybody. Apparently it would also encourage them to remove their clothes and stick their tongue out at the camera. Here's an example of what one of those viral Facebook posts said. I can't even in words say what I just found out. I am shocked and want to tell my friends and family. Be aware so they can make sure their children are safe. Angelica stayed home from school today, and thank God she did, because she was on her iPod playing a game called Talking Angela, which is similar to Talking Tom. Anyway, she is sitting next to me with this interactive cat says to her, "Hi Angelica, where is your brother?" She says, "Oh, he's right next to me." The cat says, "Oh, cool." Then the cat says, "What do you do for fun?" Angelica says, "I don't know." Now I'm being quiet and listening because I think it's weird that this Angela cat knows that she has a brother and is talking to her like a person. Then its voice changes and in some weird robotic voice it says, "Angelica, when you date, what do you do on dates?" She looked at me and got red in the face and said nothing. Then it said, "Stick out your tongue, I'll stick mine out too." It said, "What are some things you can do with your tongue? I can find many things." So please, if your kids use this app, please shut it down, because some kids told them the name of the school they went to and is now on red alert at the school. Please pass this on to all your friends. Pretty soon these rumours were widespread. More and more reports came in from parents concerned that the app was actually a front for an illegal pornography ring. It was widely believed that the reflection in the eyes was showing a live feed of an actual room. If you could see a man in there, that meant that the man was controlling Angela and secretly recording you. Even worse, once the app had your location, your child was in serious danger. A news article appeared on Hustlers about a 7-year-old boy named Eli Marino. He'd gone missing after installing the Talking Angela app. The article says, after installing the app for her son, Jasmine Marino noticed Talking Angela was asking questions like, "What are you wearing right now?" and "Are your parents home?" Friday morning she let Eli play with her phone while she showered. By the time she was ready to drive Eli to school, he was missing. She reported him missing 1 hour later, and a detective asked her if she had the Talking Angela app on her phone. She was stunned to find out that several kids in the same neighbourhood had gone missing after installing the app. Hustlers talked to a local detective and he told us, "We have been tracking the Angela predator for days now. He's like a shadow. We are assuming this news hasn't been made public to keep app users from panicking." The article was widely circulated on Facebook, and parents all over the world were panicking that their child might be the next victim. The only problem is, this article was a complete hoax. If I look at the Hustlers website today, one of the main headlines is, "Scientist discovers new HIV strain that explodes your penis." So clearly it's a satirical website. I hope. As for all the other rumours, well, that's a bit more complicated. There's no real evidence that it was taking illicit photographs of people's kids, or trying to find out where they went to school, but it may have been asking them some strange questions. One of the features of the app was that it could use the phone's camera to detect someone's facial expressions, and Talking Angela might prompt the user to pull certain faces. It also had an AI-powered chat function where you could talk to Angela about different topics and she would provide amusing answers. According to this Guardian article, Talking Angela can be prompted into saying, "You know what's fun too? A clothing swap party. Have you ever been to such a party?" She then tells you about a time where she swapped clothes with her boyfriend and everyone at the party laughed and they had a cool night. You can see why if a parent heard this, they might think the app was trying to encourage their child to undress. Also, when Talking Angela was asked about sex, she would say, "Cat sex is hair-raising. It's perfect." This chat feature could be disabled by switching it to child mode. The main problem is it's very easy for a kid to switch it back out of child mode simply by pressing this inviting looking smiley face button at the top of the screen. So when parents report that the cat would suddenly start asking sinister questions, it could be that their kids simply switched it out of child mode. Still, it's kind of weird that the app had those sorts of phrases in it to begin with. Even if it can be switched off in child mode, why does a cartoon cat app have the ability to talk about sex and clothes swapping parties in the first place? So what about the man in Angela's eye? I can't find any proof that he ever really existed, but there are a lot of eyewitness accounts. Possibly it's because the reflection in the eye is a bit ambiguous to begin with, especially when you're looking at it on a small phone screen, and if the cat's moving about, people might have thought that they saw somebody in there when really they were just seeing the normal reflection. It doesn't even really make sense. Why would you be able to see somebody else in the eyes? Even if the app was being controlled by a secret group of child abductors, why would they add a feature that allowed themselves to be seen on the user's screen? I did download the app to look for myself, but since the panic of 2013, 2014, the developers have removed a lot of the features. You can no longer chat with Angela, and the app doesn't access your camera, plus they've changed how her eyes look. Still though, it does seem slightly adult for a kids game. There isn't any option to change it to a kids mode, it just asks for your age when you first start up the app, but that doesn't change any content in the app itself. You can give her flirty makeup and ply her with booze. If you poke her in the boobs or the legs, she responds accordingly. If you stroke her, she gives you this saucy little wink. I mean, am I reading too much into this? I don't know, it just seems a bit creepy. Maybe there is something more sinister going on here, a subtle corrupting of the minds of its young, easily influenced users. Or maybe I'm being paranoid because I've just finished reading Brave New World, I don't know. As for whether the app is sending your kids' personal information to shady people, undoubtedly this part is true. Maybe it's not taking illicit photographs or finding what school they go to, but as with most apps, it will be collecting huge amounts of personal information and sending it to people all over the world to do God knows what with. You can actually read what kind of information they collect on their privacy policy page. I don't think it's much different to most other apps, but there are some interesting things in there. For example, it says, "We might collect the following information: age and gender of the person using the app, whether another person uses the app, and whether children under the age of 13 are using the app on their own or with an adult." So, although that Hustler's article was a hoax, it wasn't that far from the truth when it said the app was trying to find out if the child was alone. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have on this. It's always possible that there's more truth to this story than it seems, but apart from anecdotal stories, there isn't much concrete evidence to back up a lot of the claims. In all likelihood, there probably isn't a child molester watching you from inside Talking Angela's eyes, but that doesn't mean the app doesn't have a sinister ulterior motive and it isn't harvesting massive amounts of private information about you. But then, it would be hard to find an app that doesn't. Besides, the feds are probably watching you through your phone right now, so why worry? Anyway, thanks for watching and thanks to everyone supporting the channel. Let me know what you think of this series idea. I've got a few other things I wanted to cover for this, stories that seemed a bit too silly or weird for a regular video, but they might be interesting for this series. Okay, here's some more videos you might want to check out, and if you're new to the channel then please subscribe. Thank you very much. Until next time, goodbye.